Spring cleaning. We're back, episode 8. Welcome back, guys. Appreciate you being here. My name is Daniel Katzman, financial services professional out of Newport Beach.
Ian White, financial planner.
Moose with Paradise Photography OC.
Bryn Parmenter with Parmenter Insurance Agency.
Don't forget the certified part, brother.
I can't say that for about another week.
Well, okay, never mind.
When's this releasing?
So, we're going to start everything off with some events coming up. Ian, you want to cut to the events in this chamber?
Yeah, you go first.
I'm pulling it up. Cut to the commercial break. I'm getting more and more prepared for this, boys.
Yeah.
Except for this part right here.
Yeah. Right.
So, coming up in May, we have some good events. We have Purse Palooza on May 4th. We have Star Wars Day May 4th. We have Miniature Painting Workshop May 6th. Coloring for Adults May 8th. It's cooler than it sounds. Go out there, try it out. Tons of events. Check out MV Life for everything Mission Viejo, events-wise. And then, Ian, what's going on with the chamber?
Yeah, we've got a lot coming up.
Awesome.
Whereas the last few, there hasn't really been a lot. On May 8th, we've got Party of 5 Mixer in Mission Viejo. So that's 5 chambers coming together to throw a big party. That is going to be at the Natadores facility. And what's cool about that is they're doing tours every 20 minutes. So we're going to get to see some places that even the swimmers haven't seen.
Cool. Yeah, the parents, the family members haven't seen before, so it's going to be a really cool opportunity to be able to see, one of our big features in Mission Viejo.
Exactly.
So, coming up with the Olympics too, it's going to be very, interesting to see, and then you'll see it on TV coming soon.
Yeah, and then the very next day, May 9th, we've got a new member orientation to the chamber.
Yep.
This is good because, a lot of times people join the chamber, they have an idea of what they want out of it, and then they forget to act on it.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is going to be at the Norman P. Murray Center at 5 p.m., and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Good an opportunity to meet ambassadors and ambassadors to meet new members.
Absolutely. That's going to be a huge event. That's going to be a reoccurring event. You'll see it on the calendar throughout the coming months. It'll be on Thursdays typically at Norman P. Murray. It is primarily targeted towards our new members. We really want to bring you guys in. We want to show you the benefits of being a part of the chamber and making sure you're taking full advantage. So if you're a new member, come to that. There's going to be board members. The CEO might be there. It's going to be, a good turnout as far as resources for you guys to be able to use. So come on out.
Yes. May 21st, we have a ribbon cutting. This is a business that's had a ribbon cutting before, but they have a new location. Share Ourselves. They are a federally qualified health center dedicated to delivering comprehensive health and support services. And they run a small clinic. They've been doing this for many years now, and we're going to come out and support them.
Absolutely. Those are always fun. It's a great time. Are they going to have a mixer on that?
Yes.
Awesome. Those are the best. Ribbon cutting's another great benefit of being a part of the chamber.
Exactly.
You get to bring all your friends, your family out. All the chamber members come out, and if you put a mixer on top, everyone loves stopping by for after work drinks. So it's a good bring people in, and show them your business. So that's events coming up. As far as Rosebud Thorn, what's going on in everyone's business? How was last week? How was the month? You want to start, Bryn?
Sure. Rose, it is already off to a big April, so we're about halfway through the month now, but it's looking like it'll be probably my biggest month.
Nice. You said that last month too.
Yeah, no, so we're just getting month after month right now, so staying busy. I think it's that point in the career where it's like really starting to see the renewals, been in a little longer, so.
How many years has it been now?
2020, so 3 years.
3 years?
Over 3 years now. So
Nice.
I'm getting renewals since I've had from the very beginning, but also with new clients, and very happy we have a new employee right now. Keeping on track of keeping on top of everything's a lot, but it's going good. Bud is working on some really big new accounts, working on some stuff that's like 4 or 5 months out, but through some experience of not getting those accounts in the past, realizing how far out I have to start working on those and getting all the ducks in a row because it's someone else's business insurance and they have the business to run on top of it. So giving yourself that extra time is great. And then the thorn is just some of the stuff also comes with that book of business. You're not going to keep every client. Certain things happen where you do some work and it doesn't work out, but you keep the pipeline fresh and keep going. So it's been a great year and good month so far.
Nice.
What about you, Moose?
I guess growth will be, we've been closing more deals with bigger companies, so been grateful for that, but the thorn for it is more work, more editing, so it's been a little bit backed up on the editing side. And then Bud, which one was the Bud again?
Those are prospering events going on.
God, everything from birthdays, graduations. I mean, I have a lot of, I had a proposal last week, so being a part of all these great moments, you know, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Heck yeah. Nice. Did you tell them your thorn?
Yeah, my thorn is just extra editing now, more work,
Yeah.
a lot of more editing going on, so sometimes I have to stay up until like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Just
That's gnarly. That's I'm a morning person. I couldn't be doing that. You gotta stay up late nights and you gotta get it done. I get that, but
you have to.
we got young Nick Quinlan with Quick Media, not
Yeah.
Jamie. We replaced him.
Yeah.
We sent him back to Joe Rogan's podcast. We didn't need him anymore. We found a much better person. Yeah, Nick, start. No, you're plenty busy. Never mind. What about you? What's going on? Rosebud Thorn.
Yeah, Rose found a camping group called Rising Suns through the YMCA, and we just went out camping a couple weeks ago. It's like 100 people out there, you know,
Oh, wow.
50 kids, 50 dads.
Mm.
You know, my 5-year-old loved it, and we're gonna keep doing it. So
That's awesome.
I finally get to do all the outdoor stuff.
Teaching them young too. Camping is always, I feel like it's important. You learn to be a little uncomfortable when you're a kid. You can enjoy it more as you're an adult.
Exactly. Yeah, so it was Herky Creek. There was a snowstorm on Friday when we got there. His first, real snow.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so when we got back, he's like, "Yeah, Friday, that was the best day," and it was the worst day.
Yeah,
It was
that's
so
camping
cold.
for you though, right?
Yeah.
That's camping for the dad versus the son.
Yeah.
This kid was dealing with snow melted everywhere, shoveling snow in Nightmareville, and then the kid's just warm in a tent somewhere having a blast with all his buddies.
But I mean, the kid, he's insane.
Mhm.
We did a
so
polar
it's your kid.
plunge. Yes.
Yeah.
He gets it. Polar plunge. There's a river. On Saturday, we all strip down, jump in, and
Sure you want to be talking
get
about
a
this on
little
the
bath.
pod?
Yeah.
Swimsuits.
I'm kidding.
He did it 4 times.
Oof.
He'd get out. He's like, "Let's go again." I'm like, "Yeah, you go. I'll
That's all
videotape
you,
it."
buddy. Yeah. Oh, that's good stuff.
Crazy.
That's red.
Yeah. Bud, good referrals.
Nice.
Got some good referrals coming in, and they actually called, right? So
that's so a good referral. Yeah.
right. Yeah, the best referral is when I have the contact information,
Mm-hmm.
because most people, even if you want to talk to me, it's going to take a month for you to call,
Yeah.
and but they're doing it, and so that's nice.
That's awesome.
And thorns, can I also use my kids as that?
Yeah. Show them this when they grow up.
Yeah. They're supposed to be thorny.
Yeah.
What about you, Danny?
Well, we could get into that for a while, I think.
Yeah.
The thorns of raising a kid, but
Could be a whole podcast.
yeah, that's on the After Hours podcast. Check it out. Rosebud Thorn, Rose, very good month. It's we're sitting on some good stuff in the hopper, and the hopper is still getting full. So it's can't complain there. Pretty happy. Landing my first. I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this, but my first 401k package.
Nice.
So that's huge. Sign the paperwork hopefully tomorrow, and that's a great step in the right direction. I want to talk more about big accounts and figuring out what we did wrong prior to moving on. We can talk about that in a bit, but then my bud is the referrals. They're coming through. Like it's on the drive here, just like last time. It's hey, send me the link to be able to do this. I have 2 referrals for XX and X, and it was, pretty good money. So that was, great. And we have more accounts on the horizon. Those big accounts, it's like, it makes me feel like a real estate agent. It's like, you're not selling all the time, but you're like, when you get it, you get it. And it's where do you want your business to model to lay in? It's, depends, right? And then my thorn would probably be
Ian's kids.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pain right now has been some underwriting issues, just delay. I feel like I'm constantly hitting up my, different underwriters to say, can you just, what's going on? Like, can you give me an update here? And then they turn around and they get an update and then instantly it's done. So it's like, I feel like I'm asking them to do their job all the time.
Right, they just forgot. You're like, whoa, yeah, it's up next.
Yeah, and it's like,
how weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how much do you want to be the squeaky wheel, like, without being the irritant? And it's like, I just feel like I've been going, since I got it.
If it's not getting done, it needs to be waiting for people. I've tried doing that in the past too, where you wait and you're like, oh, well, they'll get it done, and you're just gonna have to end up reaching out anyways.
Yeah.
Might as well just get it to it, check it off the list, reach out, and be like, all right, let's get this sorted.
Yeah, it's like I don't think people in back offices understand that I'm not gonna check this off until it's done.
Yeah.
And so it's like it sits at the top of my checklist, and so I have to keep reaching out, and it's
Put
like
it to the checklist the next day. I'm like, well, we're getting another email tomorrow if it's
yeah,
still
no,
there.
I know. I'm not letting this go. I'm a dog with a bone. I need this to get done for me and my clients. Like it's more of my clients, but also I have to make a living, right? So there's there's 2 pieces to it. So it's just I feel like I've been asking a lot of people just to do their job kind of deal, but it's part of the process, right? Being newer in the industry, learning, you're gonna make mistakes, and was it my mistake or was it theirs? It's been feeling mostly their fault, which makes me feel great, right? It's no longer my fault. I'm no longer messing up and them sending me an email, hey, you screwed up here, there, this is what you need to fix. And it's not me calling back offices to solve problems. It's me, knowing what's going on and me actually being like, hey, can you do your job now? And it's, so I don't know if that's a thorn or a bud, but it's I got that type of perspective. Yeah,
That's good.
Today it's spring cleaning. That's what we're going to talk about. It's tax day today, the day we're filming, and we all just did a bunch of cleaning, right?
Yeah.
I hope nobody shredded any files, but just don't tell the IRS.
All paperless.
Yeah, and so what type of reflections did you guys have on Q1, and did you guys even spend any time to reflect on Q1? You've been too busy, you've just been running around like a crazy man?
Yeah, I mean, I am doing a little bit of spring cleaning where it comes to older gear, cleaning up the studio, getting rid of stuff that I don't need, stuff like that. But still have a lot to do when it comes to clearing up files on the computer. Can imagine the memory that I have to deal with.
Oh my god, how many terabyte storage devices do you have?
Thing going on 20 terabytes.
Exactly. Yeah, it's absurd. But, that's not normal.
So yeah.
There's probably terabyte therapists out there for you.
Yeah, I need one. But yeah, definitely have to, get to that sometime soon.
Yeah.
Because it does slow down your editing.
Your computer slows down
software,
everything.
computer,
Yeah.
and,
Unless you export it to a hard drive and then you take it off and external.
Yeah, I mean that's what I've been kind of getting away with.
Yeah. Don't they make those storage boxes you can plug into your current storage box in your the desktop computers?
Yeah, I definitely have to start upgrading when it comes to
computer process. Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get that PC going, that gamer PC.
I know.
It doesn't matter how big it is, it fills up.
Yeah.
True.
It's just
No, I
like
know.
highways.
You
They
need
build
those-
another
It's
highway
usually-
and more
usually
cars come.
spring cleaning, and you just have to.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You need an external hard drive.
Yeah.
Something that you
Got
can
one
detach
in
from
the
your computer.
Because
Yeah,
once
you'll fill them up.
once I send the pictures to the client, it's I can clean it up. But for a lot of stuff, I want to keep it for my portfolio, for good memory. I mean, for me, it's more than just taking people's pictures. There's a
Which reason
connection
you're a good
there.
photographer. Yeah.
So I keep those memories for myself too, and
That's awesome.
remember all the families I've been a part of.
Oh yeah. 20 terabytes worth.
Yeah.
How many families you got? Holy smoke!
Yeah.
What about you, Bryn?
I mean, with tax season, it's less looking at Q1. It's kind of looking at the past year, kind of going over everything again. Kind of looking at, so I guess, looking at Q1, kind of see where we're at year to date, kind of see where we were at last year, kind of planning again, see how the first quarter of the year's gone, if we're on track for the growth we wanted, things like that. So, yeah, things look good, but also it's like, it is when you're looking at stuff. There's stuff that's gone great, stuff that hasn't gone great, and kind of figuring out why, and with a book of business, kind of replacing you're going to lose some stuff no matter how good you are. There's some things that are out of control, so looking at how to replace it and doing things differently, that stuff. But good, happy taxes are done now, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Telling me, brother. How about you?
For me, it's more looking forward at next quarter. I'll take a look back at my overall list of who I was supposed to be reaching out to. There's always some referrals that drag their feet, or we didn't really connect, and so I'll add them to the next quarter. But it's mostly, who do I need to talk to, my current clients in the next quarter? What are things we need to get done? This person's selling their business, and we need to talk in June to go over the sale. All sorts of things, and that'll help me set up my big to-do list for next quarter, and then figuring out what to add from the previous one. So ultimately, it's pretty quick.
Yeah, you've been in the game for 10 years. You should be pretty good at it by now.
Yeah.
But you got to have it down to a process, right? It's like, how Q1 good here, bad here. You probably have an Excel sheet with auto stats.
I do have an Excel sheet.
Yeah.
That's what you do. It's the smart thing to do, right?
Yeah.
You're going to want to make sure to track all your numbers and see where you're at, and then it's, where did I screw up? And ultimately, the worst part about it is you're holding yourself accountable.
Yeah, when it starts in the back of one of these, any piece of paper around me, it's a to-do list, and then it goes to the Excel sheet.
That's true. I hear that. For me, it was just like you. It was let's take a review of Q1 and more of the year, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing, your 2022 income, and you're seeing your 2023 income, and you're like, okay, for me, I doubled it, but it's not like it was significant numbers at all, but it's, I'm starting from nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, this wasn't maybe as bad of a year as I thought it was, but, why wasn't as good as a year? And then you're sitting down and you're having that conversation with yourself, and you're like, oh, I didn't make the phone calls as much as I thought I did. Oh, I didn't do this, I didn't do that. And that sucks. I'm going to be really, really honest and kind of vulnerable, but it's not fun, and it's something that you have to do. And if you're going to take it seriously, you got to look yourself in the mirror. And that's why I took this career, is because painfully I have to wake up every morning and look myself in the mirror. There's not a single day I cannot hold myself accountable to be the best person I possibly can be. Because if I don't, then I'm just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And so it's like, have you guys read The Compound Effect? It's a great book. It's about, you put effort in, and, the more effort, it compounds, right? It's like how you're on year 3 and you're starting to feel great success. Year 10, you're getting good referrals, things like that. It's the compound effect. It also works in reverse. So if, you're not putting in the work where you should, your business is going to recess very, very quickly.
Right.
And so
especially if you blame other people, because then you become resentful and you can't understand why things aren't working out, and that just gets worse and worse.
Yeah, I call those the black holes, and I just stay away from them. It's like I gotta stay on the light path. I gotta stay out of that, and it's the valley of death and darkness or whatever. I got out of there, so I'm staying on the good side of things, and
that's good.
And I just know I have to do that. That's why I took this position in this career path, because it's like every day I have to look at myself and I have to make sure I'm doing okay. And so it's to sit there and then be like, oh, I've been doing okay, but it hasn't been the greatest year. To have to say, okay, it wasn't the greatest year because of this, 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 and this. It sucked. I need to do a lot more of it too. I need to, really sit down, because it's working. The more I feel and, self-perpetuate and hit myself over the shoulder.
Most basic thing you're supposed to do is what actually works.
But it's just do it, man. Yeah. And it's so frustrating, but it's so rewarding too at the same time. So it's like, it's why we're in the game, and it's just keep on swimming.
You're supposed to talk to people. Ugh.
Yeah, well, it is. Yeah, just like some of them are great, a lot of them aren't, but it is what it is.
Right, you're not trying to get every client
Yeah.
I talked to like 20,000 people in the beginning. I can handle 200 clients.
Right?
So I need to find those 200 people.
And eventually getting to the point, too, of being like, all right, I have so many people, but I'm finding the best ones that are best fit. Because something, at the end of the day, not everything is going to be a good fit.
Right.
And early on, I feel like people in their career try to grab hold on it, but it's like, but it's one of the ones I'm getting. And it's like, of course, you need the experience, but then you come to a time where it's just like, yeah, I just understand this is not the best relationship for either of us.
Yeah, and then it drags you down emotionally. Mm-hmm. You're spending a lot of time on somebody that doesn't respect you, and that's not helping your next client who does want your help.
And does respect you.
Right.
Yeah. You walk into that meeting all beaten up because some Miss Hilbert just whooped you and said you're a 2-year no good worth of something and get out of my house, and you're like, oh, and then you get into the next meeting and they're like, I need your advice, Danny, and you're like, I'm useless. Like, that doesn't work. You know what I mean? So it's, you're right. You know, it's a quick memory, you know what I mean? And it's just keeping after it and keep on keeping on. It's the big clients, you know what I mean? That's like, oh, we got one. I taste the blood, you know what I mean? And so it's, I know I'm doing it for the right reasons, and I just got to keep swimming. Yeah. And there's stuff that's just going to pop up into my lap because I've been doing work, but it's where can I continue to do more work? And that's,
well, it seems like it popped up into your lap, but
no, it's because I was doing it.
Yeah, you worked your butt off for years and years. People say, oh, you got lucky. It's like, yeah, I got so lucky working hard for years and years.
And when you guys are going through spring cleaning, it's funny because you mentioned the large client. Do you guys kind of analyze, there we go, analyze where you're like, all right, if I want more, I need more big clients, or if you're noticing your book or whatever you're working with has a lot of large ones, so any loss there is a large impact. You're like, all right, I want more medium-sized ones, so one loss or something would not hit the business as hard. Is that something you guys have kind of gone through this year at all, or at this time during the spring cleaning?
I'm still in the eat what you kill thing. Like anything I get, I'm going to kill it. And then it's like when I'm sitting there at the end of the year, what names didn't happen that I thought were going to happen this year? That's like, I'm going to call you until you block me. Yeah. You know, I'm not, like, I'm sorry. But it's just, I have a business to run. If you don't want to work with me, that's okay. You know what I mean? And
but you got to tell me.
You got to tell me. That's all it is. And tell me maybe why if you, I'm not going to, you know, that'd just be awesome so I could learn. I need to, you know, it's no more, oh, I've been bugging them, all this stuff kind of deal. Because I'm dealing with either a referral or a cold call situation. So it's, and I'm only pestering the cold calls if I've gotten some sort of, hey, call me back in 6 months, or I'm not interested right now type deal. Like, and it's, so I should pester them kind of deal, or it's a referral and I was told, reach out to you. So I'm going to do my best to reach out to you, whether I seem like a kind of a turkey or not, because what's the point? You know what I mean? I'm in it to win it, and I got a clean house. You know what I mean? If this isn't gonna fall ever, just tell me, so I can clean it, I can move on, kind of deal.
Yeah, I mean, a good example of that is I am like 4 months overdue for my dentist appointment, and they've reached out like 6 times.
Yeah.
But
and I love them.
You yet? They haven't met with you?
No.
Oh, never mind.
Well, I mean, I've been going to them for over 10 years. And I love them, and I will go, but I've been so busy with the CFP test and getting sick and going on vacation, all this stuff, that I couldn't go. But me not answering the phone isn't me saying, I hate you, don't call me.
Yeah.
It's, this wasn't the right time,
and
I don't want to get your hopes up by answering the phone.
Yeah.
But when I do call, it's going to be, we're doing business right now. And so that's something that I had to learn, is when people don't answer the phone, it doesn't mean they hate me. Because I've got clients after 8 years where they'll be like, hey, Ian, thanks for staying persistent. I know we haven't talked in 5 years, but now's the time. And I was like, oh, okay. That's cool.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm not trying to burn any bridges by any means, but I just want to, I gotta call. It's my job. Right? I'm supposed to be available as a financial advisor. I'm supposed to make or financial service professional, maybe bleep that. But I have to make myself available, right? And you know, unless you're going to go Google me, which no one ever does, right? So I got to call, and that's when it's just holding myself more accountable, holding my business partner more accountable, and just continuing to look yourself in the mirror and say, what went wrong, what went successful. For you talked about like the big accounts and like learning how to like what went wrong and then adjusting. It's kind of hard to like speak in general terms without talking about a specific person, but can you?
Yeah, there's some things to go about it. I mean, I think with some of the bigger ones, you just have to, the timeline you think you have, times it by times and a half, 1.5, because it's like, all right, I need a month to work on this, give yourself a month and a half. Like 2 months, give yourself 3 months. It's just more hoops to jump through, and usually that's on both sides of things. It's on your side, going talking with underwriting and getting things approved. There's always another wrinkle on these bigger ones, or from their side of things where they're like, oh, well, we forgot this. Or you may notice if you're coming in, there's an incumbent agent you're looking at, they may have done something wrong on the policy, and you just have more time to catch things like that and, meet with them. There's always tough things. So I've seen, in my instance, there's kind of, when you're coming in and trying to win some new business like that, and it's a big account, you'll see a lot of times where they're shopping it out to everyone, and you just have to beat someone. Or times they have this relationship with the incumbent agent. You're coming in, you provide a proposal, and then that guy that's already there gets to take a look at it and then tries to beat you. Yeah. So it's tough. So you give yourself a ton of time, and they kind of come in at the last minute. I think the best thing is you have time, be very apparent with those larger clients, let them know the process, and of course work with them knowing, all right, is this someone that's too busy and doesn't want to hear from me once a week, or is it someone that wants daily updates? What does underwriting want? Where's the process?
Is that a vibe thing you do?
Yeah, you can usually find out when you're talking with someone. I usually, at a minimum, want to talk with someone on the phone. Mm-hmm. Meeting someone in person is great. Usually you can kind of see from there. If someone's like, I don't have time to meet with you in person.
In person's easy, but I'm saying on the phone and email, how do you do that?
Yeah, again, it is just kind of seeing how correspondence go, and like if you're updating them on every little thing that's going on and they don't like that, they'll probably tell you, okay, or just kind of seeing where that is. If you're on the phone with them and they're just trying to tell you all the time, you're trying to schedule that first meeting, they're just like, I'm so busy, I don't have time for this. That's not someone that's going to need probably daily updates, but you never know. It is just working with someone, and I usually just ask, say, hey, I can give you this update, and some people will be like, oh no, just let me know when it's done. Other people are like, I want to know every step of the way, where this is going, what's the timeline. And I think really stressing and talking timeline with people so they kind of understand it. And like on my side of thing, underwritings can take 2 weeks. Turns out it's a busy season for them right now, and I didn't know it. Now it's going to take a month, but we gave yourself that extra time. You've let them know, and just it's another time to touch base. So.
Right. 401k implementation can take 3 months. Mm-hmm. And if they don't understand that, they're like, what's happening? And it's been 3 days.
Yeah. And
it's gonna be a process. I'm so silly. I'm not gonna say I'm stupid, but I'm dumb because like it's not a vibe thing. You don't have to
you just
get a course. You just ask.
But yeah,
you speak to him. He said it, and I stopped. I was like, I'm so dumb. All I have to do is just ask him. How would you like me to update you? That's it. I didn't know we could do that.
You know what I prefer is I want an email once a week if I need to be updated, mm-hmm. and I don't want to have to respond.
Yeah.
That I just want to know, and I want to be able to read it at like 11 p.m., and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And so it's like you can get a vibe or kind of how you work with somebody at the day.
Leads to that, obviously.
Yeah. At the end of the day, just ask. And you're like, hey, how much? There's a lot going on here. We have a lot of moving parts. How involved can you be? If you don't want to be there, is there someone at the office that's going to be very involved with it? Should I be letting someone at the front desk know every single update so they can let you know? And kind of just figuring out how they operate. But I mean...
Just ask.
Yeah.
Just ask. That's all you guys gotta do.
Yeah.
Just ask.
At some point you just gotta ask for the business, ask what they're looking for, ask if they're just trying to shop it. I mean, sometimes you're coming to someone and they're like, I'm just keeping my agent honest, man. And it's like, all right, it's good for me to know.
Yeah.
And like, but also, someone tells you that, like, well, what would it take for me to win this business? If you're just shopping it, there's obviously something where I can win this business. What would it take? Is it saving $1,000? Is it saving $10,000? Or do you just not like the guy, but he gives you a great rate? So, just...
They make it seem like it's witchcraft. You just ask the dumbest question you could possibly think of. What takes me to get business? And then it's it. Simple, stupid. Why do I always make it too complicated?
Well, because
we all do it in the beginning.
Yeah, well, I think it's like, I don't want to put my own foot in my mouth at times like that. And it's like, I want to seem like I don't have to ask all these questions because I know exactly what...
No one knows anything.
Right, just
it's
ask.
Really a confidence. Like if I ask, like, what's it gonna take?
Yeah.
That's valuing both of our time.
Mm-hmm.
like, if you're not the type that needs to be wooed, I'm not taking you out to lunch because
Yeah.
neither of us are going to be comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But other people, they want the personal connection. They just want to get to know me. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
how good the plan is.
Yeah.
They need to know me. But if I don't ask, I'm never going to know that's how to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just wasted all of our times.
Right? Yeah. So.
I gotta take some notes.
Yeah.
Nice genius. Just ask.
Yeah.
Dumb
And then
question.
sometimes it just doesn't work. Right? Sometimes
Yep.
they pick their friend who just started and they're going to screw it up so bad that they will be so embarrassed they'll never come back to you to fix it.
Yeah.
Because they
Or-
know what they did.
Yeah, and sometimes I'll try it, and some never burn a bridge. If someone,
Yeah.
you know, someone's gonna have something messed up, be like, hey, oh, and it's like, I may not really feel it in that moment, but if anything happens, give me a call at any time.
Yep.
I may not be happy with you, but 6 months down the line, if it's going terrible and you need help and you want to be like, I'm sorry, I want to come back, of course, yeah,
Right.
we'll rectify this, get it. It's like, hopefully we don't have to do this in the next 5 or 10 years, that you've learned the lesson once, but
Yeah, I don't need or want every referral I get.
mhm.
For me, it's not as much, back to your previous question, about finding the big clients.
Mhm.
It's finding people I want to work with.
Yeah.
Who have the right personality and mindset.
Mhm.
Because then you're going to get a good mix of, small, medium, and large.
Yeah.
If you're really looking for larger clients, look at the ones you already have and then ask them for their friends.
Yeah.
Right, but you can't do that all day long, and
When
so
you're talking to a young professional crowd too, that's like
Yeah.
gibberish talk to them because they don't have any clients. You know what I
Right.
mean?
yeah, and that's why I think it's important that what I said first, which is I'm not really searching for that. I'm searching for personality.
Yeah.
And people ask me that up front, like, "Oh, do you have a minimum?" It's like, "Yeah, I have a minimum. It's can I stand to be around you?"
Yeah, no, that's a very, I will work with people and make zero, like, I will make $10, but I'll talk to you, especially if I like
Yeah.
you. I'm like, yeah, but and there's certain people you work with where you're like, man, I can make $1,000 with this, but it is just, we have conflicting personalities, it just doesn't work out, and it's like, sometimes it's just not it, and
Yeah.
it's okay to step away from stuff. It's harder to, maybe not in the beginning, where you're trying to, you take your lumps, you build up your book, but you want to get to that point where
You get beaten
Right.
up by Aunt Kathy, dude, every
Yeah,
time.
sometimes you
Yeah.
just you take that client, and sometimes you can, work with them and fix them, but eventually you might just have to fire bad clients.
That's what you get.
and you learn your lessons though. Like, you have to have some bad clients to learn what is a bad client, what is going to be a negative relationship, what's gonna grind the wrong way. And I'm sure you felt that in photography. You just find someone else that wants to take the reins the whole time. You're like, I'm the photographer here, and it's just not every business relationship is gonna work out. But yeah, no, I
Yeah,
find.
I've calculated my hourly rate before.
Mhm.
I don't get
Oh.
paid hourly,
Of
but
course,
I've
but-
looked up my annual income, how
Mhm.
many hours I work, and all of my small clients, I'm losing money talking to them.
Yeah.
But it's not what they are now and what they need now, it's what they need in the future.
Who they might
Right.
know.
Right, so we're doing planning now that will turn them into amazing clients,
Mhm.
and that they're already making such good choices. I wasn't even making those choices.
I
So
love those
I'm kind of
clients
jealous.
so much.
Those are some of my favorites. You're
Yeah.
just watching a business grow or watching a person be like, all right, seeing they're like, all right, one day, but then you keep them
I
for
think this
5
guy's gonna be
years.
king
and
of the
it's-
world one day.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my god.
Well, it's exciting because it's like a lot of times your business is going to grow with that. That's just,
Yeah.
you're going to make more money when they're succeeding, but it's
Right.
also just cool to see someone, especially from the ground up, do something where you're like, oh, look at that. Those are fun ones for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
prospecting for your ideal client.
No, I mean, ideally, you have those as you're working on your big ones. Your
Right.
big one that takes you 4 months, but you're working with all these small ones in between that end up. I mean, yeah, that all added up to a pretty good amount of chunk of change after the fact. But so.
Not to mention 6 degrees of separation. When you go back a year later and you ask them, hey, who could you refer me to?
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what type of access you're getting yourself into.
Right, yeah, turns out their dad is like, Steve Jobs before he died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tough subject, brother.
Yeah. And on to the next one. No, I'm kidding.
That's huge. It's like, it's prospecting. You got anything for prospecting? Are you kind of on the same page?
On the same page. I would say a lot of it is just communication and reading. Reading through a lot of work. You get to read your clients who's serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'm
now,
done reading. I'm asking. From now on,
Yeah.
I'm done reading.
and that's how you get to know. It's through asking. For me, like when you're becoming my client, especially if it's a video project, something big, I have to ask a lot of questions to understand what is it exactly you're expecting out of this. What do you want to accomplish? I don't want to just do anything. I want to get you exactly what you want. So I ask a lot of questions, especially like even with big weddings. You have so much that you have to ask about.
Yeah.
They're spending a lot of money, so you wanna make them happy and ask them exactly, and you find out how many people, the time.
Do you have a preset list of questions?
Oh yes, I have to.
Yeah, for each type
And
of
I'm
event.
constantly working on updating it. But if I come across something, I make a mistake, I learn from it and add it to the list.
Yeah. What question could I have asked differently? So
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
how you land the big clients, right? At the end?
I mean, I have a little set list that I've kind of learned. I'm like, all right, where have I been making succeeding in certain industries or types of business? How do I try to get more of those? And then it's at that point when you have the questions, it's just like, it's easy.
Yeah.
And then you work faster, which makes you look better when someone's like, all right, I need this. And you're like, I've done 10 of these and I have the whole list of how I've done it before.
Yeah.
You can get them a proposal in half the time as someone else. And they're like, oh,
Yeah,
yeah. It's
exactly.
like, I've got this proposal in 30 minutes. Well, yeah, let's do it. They're already, might as well check it off their list right now.
Yeah.
100%.
So
They
speed,
want to get
efficiency.
it done, so
Yeah.
when they feel that you know what you're doing, you ask them the right question, you make the process easy on them. Which I'm not gonna name drop. I do have a client right now that is actually pretty big that led me to other clients where they want to do stuff out of state. So it opens up more doors for you.
Yeah, it's the 6
Right.
degrees of
Yeah.
separation.
Oh, and it's also, you have it done quickly. They don't have time to go to someone else because it's like, well, I can just be done with it here. And
Exactly.
that'll win you a lot of business, just getting it done quickly. And so they're not.
Availability.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've told the story several times at the chamber, getting a big client because I answered the phone at midnight. And all the other advisors called as soon as they could in the morning because he called 4 people and then he called me. So I was 5th in line, but I got the business because I answered the phone. You know what happens if I call a plumber and they don't answer?
Next
I
one.
call the
Call
next
the
plumber.
next, yeah.
Who's number 2
Right.
on Google?
You
Who's
have
number 3?
0 extra chances. You
Yeah.
need to answer the phone the first time
Right.
or you don't get the business.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that.
I
Like, oh,
actually
I'm
got
busy.
told that by multiple people. Like you're the first one that I call and answers right away.
Right. Because if I call you today, it means I should have called you like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I'm finally getting around to it. And now the urgency's there.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to wait another 3 weeks. It's happening now.
You don't want to. You're like, I've already delayed on this. I'm not going to wait for a call back tomorrow. I want to feel like I've accomplished something today. At least started it and spoken with someone.
Yeah.
So.
Which is why oftentimes if I get a referral, they're getting the kids in the background.
Yeah.
You called at 6, I'm
Yeah.
answering at 6.
Yeah. I mean, I had someone, let's say the chamber called at like 4:30, 4:45. It was something I was like pretty comfortable with. We had it bound and they had an insurance policy by 4:55. And it was
Wow.
like, all right, we're done. We're good to go. And so it works
I
out.
need to be your underwriters.
Yeah.
Holy
Well,
shit.
it's knowing where to go too. I was like, well, I've done this enough to know what your type of business, where that should go, who has good rates and good programs, and it's like, I could shop this out to a bunch of different people, or I can go to a select few who I know do it well, save myself time, and I know that it's the most competitive.
Yeah, that's what the continuous work gets for you.
Mhm.
It's no longer lucky at that point.
Mm.
I
I think that also kind of ties into some of the next thing, like professional development, working with some of those, be it seminars, conferences, things like that, or hearing from other people in the industry. If you guys do you guys doing much of that, or looking forward to that in this next
currently
year?
enrolled in the American College, taking 2 courses over there for my FSCP designation, and it's collaborative. So you're all on a Zoom with a bunch of different agents from all across the country, a bunch of financial services professionals, and you're hearing about, we're taking, we took Essentials to Life Insurance, and now it's like financial planning, something like that. And so
Mhm.
we're learning, how are everyone else doing their business, things like that. And it's if you're in a class full of good people, it's a very powerful experience.
Yeah.
The next thing I'm doing for professional development is asking senior advisors, asking people that know more than I do what in the heck is going on and how to do it.
Yeah.
It's the easiest cheat code on planet Earth. You're either going to find them inside your office or you're going to find them outside of your office. And if you find them outside of your office, they're going to recruit you, besides this guy.
Yeah.
But he's just waiting for me to cook, I think, honestly. He's waiting for the timer to go off.
It's actually literally what I was doing.
Exactly.
I was waiting for this guy to get a little bit more experience.
Yeah, he's just waiting for the timer on the turkey to go ding. But yeah, it's just, ask people that know more, been in the industry longer. It's not that hard. I spend a lot of time on the phone with back office. When I get a question, I can't answer it, I leave my office, I go ask everybody in the office. They can't answer the question, I call back office. Nobody in the office found the answer to that question. I did. You know what I mean? Like that's my professional development. What about you guys?
Well, I love what you just said because I've got a lot of advisors at Edward Jones that I talk to at first. They're really good at 401k plans or whatever it is. I'm going to that person and we're having a meeting. Like, tell me your exact process. Like, what do you say? Okay, what do you say next? Okay, what do you say next?
Yeah.
It's that question piece of paper.
Right, because they're already good at it. Why do I need to make it up when it's already there?
Yeah.
And, people think, like, if you're an insurance person, they think, I can't call a competitor.
It's
But
huge.
you can, yeah. Like, what I do is call a older one who might be, a few years away from retirement.
Yeah.
They're not prospecting. They don't need your business. They're willing to give advice. And who knows, maybe when they do retire, they're like, hey, do you want to buy my business?
Yeah, they want to sell you their book. That's all they want to do. They don't want to talk to you. They barely want to talk to their clients.
Yeah.
They're just like, I want to be on the Bahamas right now. What the hell am I doing here? So it's easy.
Some of the Facebook groups can be good for that. You can still do like an anonymous post and do like, I'm in a group with like tons of insurance agents. Some of them are like jokes and memes about some of the struggles. Other people are like, I have this kind of risk in this location. Who knows a good program for it? And someone, they're not on Facebook trying to steal your business and decipher who this is. They're like, oh, I use this person. And it's great. I find a ton of new information from just reaching out to other agents in some of these forum type things and just seeing like, what are people doing for this? You get news on like what's going on in the industry, even if it's in different states. It's good to know.
Right. And yeah, you should be talking to other people because maybe you realize like, oh, the place I'm working at is actually terrible. I need to go somewhere else.
There's definitely people are in those positions where someone's told them this great stuff. They're like, wait, this isn't normal for everybody?
Yeah.
You guys are making commission? I'm kidding.
But you're not crying in your car?
Yeah.
That's a daily occurrence.
Yeah.
It's weird, but it's just ask up, ask around, and figure it out. Don't reinvent the wheel, period.
Right.
Circle, it rolls. Let it roll, baby.
Yeah.
What about you? That's tough, right? You're not in the set industry.
It's different for me. For me, I like to work with what people call my competition. Because a lot of the time when you're doing big events, you need extra photographers, you need a videographer, you need people. So
Yeah.
it actually helps to work with other people, and I had jobs from Nick that he couldn't make, and he sent them to me, or I'll have a job that I double booked on that day, I'll send it to them. So it makes a lot of difference for us to work together, to like, if they have questions, they can call me. If I have questions, I call them. So it's...
Is it YouTube University though, outside of that?
Oh yeah. If I don't know something, I will look it up, I'll figure it out, I'll make it work.
Because it's not like you have a book. Like, I'm lucky, I got
It's
books.
different for photography and
I guess there's
video,
books,
because
probably,
a lot of it, there is books, there is videos, there is stuff like that, but a lot of it comes from your creative side. How do you want to, I tell people we're storytellers, because that's basically what we are.
Yeah, you're
We're
perfect.
telling the story of a wedding or a birthday or of a business, or we tell people what the story is.
I like that. I like viewing photographers more as writers. Because then it's like each one has their own style that they perfect over time.
Picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, it is.
God, I'm dumb. Maybe we cut that out. I don't know.
I like what you said though about competition in air quotes, because I've tried to reach out to advisors before and it works out sometimes, but when it doesn't work out every time is when they're new. Because when they're new, they think I'm competition.
Yeah.
And like, I want to help them, and they don't see that. There's a way to be pleasantly competitive, which is kind of the same as being competitive with yourself, right? Like, oh, I'm the tiniest bit jealous that you just got that big client. Like, how many hours did you put in? How many calls did you make? I need to increase my calls.
It needs to be like that.
Yeah.
Exactly how I view you.
Or it's it could be those things. It's another thing where it's like we talked about earlier. We're like, I'm not meshing well with this client, and it could be someone else. It's an easier way just to end a relationship, to be like, hey, this might work out better. You two may be able to connect rather than going dark on a client and then or ghosting them, or just, it's a lot easier to end relationships that way. Kind of having a nice handoff, even though sometimes you don't want to hand off certain people.
Yeah.
You just have to cut them loose.
Yeah, some are too toxic.
Yeah, that's people for you.
I view you as someone that more holds me accountable. Like, it's like, this is the 10-year product, and if I just keep doing it, and I keep doing what you're doing, and I listen to what you're doing, I'm gonna get there.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's you know, as long as you're doing good, I just gotta keep, asking you questions and stuff, and
Exactly.
trying to work as hard as you. But even though you tell me I don't work at all, 9 to 3, then I'm hanging out. So it's like, don't do that. But it's
Well, that's why it's important to think that way, because I worked really hard, a lot of hours at first, but I wasn't that good at the prospecting. I'm an introvert. Had braces. I still look like I'm 12. Just think about 10 years ago.
Pictures of that?
Yes, we do.
I need with braces.
We'll just kind of cover up the slide right
That'll
now.
be right on the screen.
Right.
It was not that efficient. Like, I worked so hard for so little progress, but even I succeeded because I just kept going, right? All these people are just starting out in their 20s. It looks hard because it is hard, but and then they see like the big picture, like, oh, things are just getting more expensive. It's never gonna work, so I'm just gonna give up. But you're never going to succeed if you give up. There's been so many times where I'm just like, I just gotta keep working hard until, right, it's just cloudy and rainy, until I see a ray of sunshine, and then grab it. And then grabbing it's like, oh wow, this is a whole new world. I just spent the last year doing that, and now I'm up here. And that's your new normal.
Yeah.
Putting
Staying in the dark. It's
You had to
staying in the
keep
light.
doing it.
Yeah.
And it's boring. Like, just making calls all day. Oh, surely, it's more interesting. I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. And then you do your quarterly review. Where'd I get all my clients from? Oh, it's just the phone calls.
Yeah, it's that thing they
Yeah.
don't really want to
All
do,
the
but
other
it's just
stuff
the
didn't
most
matter.
effective.
Yeah.
The little trick I do with phone calls is reward yourself after it.
That's our
Makes it a little
generation,
easier.
right?
Yeah, a little snack,
Yeah.
a little piece of candy after each phone call.
I'm so bad at that. Yeah, I just get close to burnout and then go like hiking or something.
Yeah, getting out.
I guess
it's-
that's the treat.
That's what I was like. There's like, I just went to Steamboat this past weekend, and it was one of those things where it was like, did a bunch of work, been getting a lot done, and then kind of was like, all right, took a couple days off, enjoyed it, and then came back and just excited to get back into the office and had stuff. I was looking at my emails while I was away, and I was ready to get back in the office, but just being outside in the sunshine, away from a computer desk, does wonders to
And not thinking
hear.
about it.
Yeah, it does wonders when you're at a desk thinking about it, having long day after long day, just kind of separating yourself a little bit and coming back with fresh eyes it's you don't always have the luxury early on in your career, but if you can, to just get outside, find something you enjoy. I think I've always kind of worked best when I have a bit of an obsessive personality. Right now the obsession's golf, but I have a reward at the end of the day, so I can work harder because I have this thing I'm working towards at the end of the day, and I'll earn it at the end, and lo and behold, before you know it, I'm like, man, I've been working really hard, and it hasn't felt that hard because I have that carrot at the end, like, oh, I get to go golf at the end of the day, or I get to go run, or I get to go hike, just something.
Yeah. I'm sure some people watching just cringed at he gets to go run. Like, we find what we enjoy. If you don't enjoy that, find something else.
To each their own.
Yeah. And it's like, one of those things, whenever I'm running and I hate it, I'm like, oh, but I get to feel this way. Some people never get to. So you just gotta find the small things where you can too. like, man, this is kind of sucks, but it would suck to never be able to feel this even more. So
Exactly.
You're describing meditation. You know that, right?
No, because I can't do that.
Well, you're doing your own form of meditation.
Exactly.
Right? Getting out of the office, going to, what'd you call it, the concert?
Storms
Fest or something? Where'd you go? Where'd you just go?
Oh no, I went skiing out in Steamboat.
Steamboat, sorry.
Yeah.
Steamboat sounded like some sort of EDC concert.
No, I want to go out and ski, not go to a rave.
I don't know. Hey, to each their
No,
own,
to each
right?
their own,
Whether
though.
it's
Some- that's-
you're running, you're halfway crazy. Who knows?
Right.
So, but
That's that guy.
that's meditation, right? You're getting out of
Yeah.
the office and you're taking your mind off of it because you get entrenched in it, and that's when you start thinking crazy thoughts of overcomplicating stuff, and you can't ask the stupid questions or the simple questions.
Yeah.
Right? And so you just get lost up in the sauce, and it's like you either get the opportunities to do it, or you will go crazy. So you kind of have to force yourself to do it, and whether it's going on vacation or just sitting down on your floor for 15 minutes at some point during the day and saying nothing to yourself.
That's a little kind of too
Hey,
detailed,
well,
Danny.
maybe, you know, I'm not the best meditator either, so I'm not totally there, but I have to sit there and say nothing,
Okay.
and then, but nothing happens, right?
Yeah.
Nothing in my brain happens, and I set a timer for 10 minutes, and then it's, oh my God. And then, I have this, and to do, right? And this is what's gonna, maximize my business here, and here. I have to call this person. You just forget about stupid stuff, right? You get like lost in it, and you get overwhelmed, and you will have a panic attack eventually. So you gotta sit down. You know what I mean? You gotta sit down, you gotta slow yourself down.
Yeah.
Every person goes through it. It's like, no matter the Incredible Hulk or not, right? Am I wrong, Ian? You're the closest to Incredible Hulk we have around here.
Well, I mean, yeah, because you see all these
He ran from his fears. Never mind. Not the Incredible Hulk.
swords through.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we all know people who were like, oh, that person's so happy, they're doing great, they're successful, they've got, a spouse or whatever, and then they're gone, right? Or it turns out they're extremely depressed, and yeah, because you hide it.
The most normal seeming people are the most screwed up. I'm pretty sure of that. I'm not.
Well, yeah, we
I'm
all,
only 24,
we
but I'm
all,
pretty certain.
yeah, have to worry about our own mental health, and
That's why I'm so worried about you.
no, I am very
We've had some
healthy.
good talks before.
Yeah, that's why I have shortened hours. Is because I can't do 80 anymore, or even the 40. Like, I got kids, they're 3 and 5. I gotta focus on that a little more.
Definitely.
And keep the business alive. But that's
So you got at least 15 years before we can really hang out.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Once they're out of the house, dude.
Well, I think once kids are about 10, then you can leave them alone without going to jail.
Depends on the kid.
I was 8.
We'll just fix that number on the podcast later.
Please don't leave your children alone.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
good
giving
for 'em,
legal
actually.
advice.
Latchkey kids, they were the best.
That happened on the news recently. Actually, this lady that went on a cruise and left her kids both
What?
under 10.
Well, that's
And-
not good.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
take your
God.
kids on vacation. people.
Yeah.
Go plan a family trip.
Yeah, that's not good at all. I think we're coming to a close here. That was episode 8. Tune in next month for episode 9. Thank you guys.
All right.
Thanks.
That's a good one.
Cool.